how to use this monthly budget worksheet to get your finances in order, and if you have any debt issues, it's also designed to help you get out of debt. We're going to start by taking a look at here in this column, the monthly set budget amount. We're going to go very quickly through each of these segments to explain how you should be filling in this information here. This monthly set budget amount is the amount that you will be setting as your budget goals. So every month you'll be trying to not exceed the amounts that you have in these areas or in this column that we're going to be filling in. These are the goals set that will keep your budget in line so that you know where your money is going and where it's exceeding areas and where you have to make adjustments. So with starting with the first column, or this first box here, monthly rent, you'll be filling in the information on how much you pay for your rent. Now if you have a mortgage, it says do not fill in your mortgage amount here. We have another place for that you're going to be putting in. If you have association dues, make sure you play like homeowners association, gas, electricity, and then we're going to go water, any trash, and this is all basically self-explanatory. If your cable and TV is all together in one, you can just use one of the fields. If any of these fields don't apply to you, just leave them blank. So keep on scrolling down here. We're going to go to food and grocery. This is an estimate amount. If you can figure out a way to set a goal, because you have no idea, then go ahead and do that of how much you want to spend. This is usually a field where a lot of people are surprised at how much they end up spending in. If you have clothing, medical, dental payments, this is not including insurance. There's a separate place for insurance. This is just like extra payments that you have maybe for doctor bills. If you have monthly co-pays for medications, that's what you'll be putting in here. Laundry, child care, if you don't have children, don't worry about it. Education expenses, this is like if you're going to school now and you have monthly expenses to put in, that's what you'll be filling into this area. Of course, child and alimony por, if you have to pay those, that's what you'll be filling in. Now, keep note, these boxes here at the end of every category automatically calculate, and you've probably already been noticing that. If we put $10 here, it throws it in automatically in this field here. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to put in the family totals or the transportation totals. Those will already be done. Moving on down, it says everything in this column here is based on monthly. So if you have maintenance repairs that average about $600 a year, you want to put $50 into this box here because that's what you'll be needing. Take a look at some of your past bills and you'll be able to get an estimate on that. Moving down, if you tithe at your church or if you give to charitable organizations, you can go ahead and stick those in. Gift to others. Don't forget about Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, anniversary gifts. You're going to need to have that set aside as well. Moving down a little more, we have as well vacation fund. If you take a lot of vacations, make sure you stick that in there. Any hobbies, anything else coming down here, and of course any restaurant meals that you eat, entertainment sections that you have here, anything that you spend in excess. Of course, this will be one category that is very flexible, but you want to set a budget for it so you don't have to worry about do you have enough money for each week if you're going to do it, or monthly, or how are you going to do it. Now this debt payment section is very important. We're going to be putting in the amounts that you have to put in or you make payments for each one of these areas. Take note here that it says minimum payments. We only want to put your minimum payments into this section here. Even if you pay more, don't worry about it. I only want the minimum payments here because we're going to show you a formula to get you out of debt that will even pay off your home. Working on down, if you have any student loans and of course any other debts, go ahead and fill them in here and put them in your columns here. Now of course this is your insurance section. If you have any insurance, go ahead and stick in your insurance area payments here. And these are savings accounts. If you have automatic deposit into your 401ks and other retirement accounts that you put in, make sure these are put in here. If you have anything that you just normally stick in your savings, I would say that one of these you want to have as an emergency fund savings. You want to make sure that you always have an emergency fund of about $1,000 to $2,000 in case something happens. So make sure these are areas you want to build up if it's possible. Like I said, we'll show you how that formula works. Now keep filling in the information here. This tax area is a place where if you pay last year $1,200 in income tax after you did your taxes, make sure you set that aside monthly amount of $100 a month, because based on last year you'll probably be the same. If that's the way it's trending, that's what you want to do. Same goes for property tax. It's a yearly payment that you make. Make sure you break it out so it's budgeted out for your auto tags and anything else that you pay taxes on that you might, if you have any business taxes you need to pay, make sure you do that as well. For income, this is the primary person who's doing the spreadsheet, filling in information. Make sure you put your income. Wage 2 could be your spouse. If you have any rental income, you can use any of these to add additional income, maybe, I don't know, inheritance, any child support, alimony, and start putting all of that in here. Now, what's going to happen is these three fields here will calculate on their own, and you'll have either a positive or a negative cash flow. If it's positive, it'll stay green. Once it hits a negative, it'll turn red on you. We want to make sure that we try to stay green, of course, all the way through. And anything extra that comes into this monthly cash flow form here, we want to go ahead and stick it back into your overflow cash flow, which will be your emergency fund section here. And what that will do is it'll bring this to a zero amount, because your budget should equal anything in going to anything out, and then we'll be filling up here. Now, if you have extra cash flow that goes into this field here, and you have enough safety account, then we're going to start to actually dump that extra dollar amount into your debt payments. And we're going to pick the lowest debt credit card that you may have, anything that's the lowest loan amount that you might have, and we're going to put all that excess on top of your minimum payments. And this is just your basic financial cycle to go ahead and clear off debt. So this is what we'll be looking at, and here's what it looks like as an example of somebody who's filled in some information. So we just threw in some numbers here. It shows all the calculations coming in together. As we're scrolling down, this overflow cash flow, we're going to delete this for now, because we're going to show you how it works. So basically, with all our monthly expenses, we are then going to be looking at, say this is our monthly income, so income minus your monthly expenses. We have a positive cash flow of extra $331 per month. Now that $331, what we want to do is we're going to be sticking it into the overflow cash flow here first, until we have $1,000 of an emergency fund that's liquidable in case something happens or goes wrong. Once our overflow cash flow account has over $1,000 into it, we would then be sticking this $331 into our lowest credit card amount here, and that would be monthly. Okay, because our budget, we're going to actually keep it balanced. We're going to keep on keeping it just the way it is. These are our markers of how we want to be less per month on each one of these. The only one we want to pay more into is going to be our lowest credit card, and that's going to be taken. $50 is what we pay. Then we're going to take any extra monthly cash flow that ends up and puts into our debt payment. An addition. So 331 plus 50, we will be actually entering 381. Of course, like I said, after we've already had an emergency fund filled up. If you have any questions, or if this thing seems a little confusing, I highly encourage you to listen to it again and go through it. If you're in the negative, to start off with right away here, you'll need to go ahead and figure out where your flexibility will be, where you have to start bringing those other parts down. Or the other option is always, of course, to find a way to build more income, and then it'll go back to green. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be going over filling in column number 2 based on the comparisons that we have here and what to do with it. I'll see you then. Bye.